And similar to what's happening in Florida, in Miami, they're excluding hurricanes. And so when you think about it, you live in a place where the most likely situation for you to lose your home is excluded. It's extremely problematic.
Real life.
It ain't real life. Just say real life street stars. Know what time it is. Real life street stars. We got him back. Once again, Larry Taylor, the real life lawyer. Those who have questions, we have answers, or at least he has answers that we try to, clear some of the air of, legality questions that, our fans may have. And first and foremost, before we even get started, how are you doing? How are your spirits?
Man, my spirits are very high. It's very high. I've come to an understanding or a further understanding that life is what we make it, right? And I've always tell people when they ask me, how's my day? I'm saying I'm having a good day because I'm alive. Because if I'm alive, I can change my circumstance.
There you go.
And so I'm very excited to be here with you and the rest of the Street Stars crew.
Come on.
And I've enjoyed traveling the world, wearing my Street Stars shirt.
Thank you for that. Thank you for the worldwide branding. You were just recently in Puerto Rico.
I was in Aruba. I wore it in Aruba. I wore it in Curacao. I wore it in Panama. And I wore it in Puerto Rico.
Come on now. And I saw Puerto Rico had like you posted a video of like a car fire going on, or a couple of cars on fire in a little parking lot. I'm like,
nah, it was not a couple of cars. It was a company that was doing some work, and something sparked, and one of the cars caught on fire. Next thing you know, about 3 to 4 layers of the parking garage, the cars were burning, and you can actually hear the cars exploding.
Wow.
In the parking garage. And so we were up because Puerto Rico lost power. Puerto Rico lost power, and my wife and I were going fishing that morning. And so on the way to the fishing dock, we saw it, and we filmed from the fishing dock what was going on, and you can hear it. You can hear pow, pow.
Wow.
So I'll send you the video so people can take a look at it, because we were extremely close, and we were there before any news crews.
Man.
So Street Stars reported on the scene before anybody. On
site. Why was the power out? What happened?
Man, evidently that's one of the issues and things that plague Puerto Rico is rolling blackouts at any time. And so the whole island lost power. It was New Year's Eve. And so we were supposed to go out and have dinner. But because we stayed so far away from San Juan, the street lights were out like an hour away. And so we didn't want to take that chance and drive in Puerto Rico during New Year's Eve with the street lights out, all of the police trying to man these areas and get hit by a drunk driver. So we bought some bottles of champagne and we celebrated on the balcony, looking at the ocean, just me and the shorty.
Beautiful, beautiful. And speaking of cars exploding, I have to get your take on this before we even get to the Tesla stuff. Right now, California is going through something crazy with first the Palisades started burning, then a few other areas in Southern California, north of Santa Monica started catching just this wildfire, which is this right now is honestly made history as far as the largest wildfire in California history. But I want to ask you from a legal perspective. There's people that are leaving their cars in the streets. A bulldozer comes through, bulldoze those cars out the way. People's homes, of course, burnt up. There's videos of people staying, some people fleeing. When it comes from a legal perspective, and again, I just want you to, let's just say property claims and things of that nature. Can you give us an education on what needs to happen next for those who are probably young, living in Southern California, experiencing this, and what legal ramifications do they have as far as whether to claims, to just whatever? what safety net do they have, if anything, or is everything a total loss?
It's going to be problematic in California because since the last major wildfire that they had that knocked out thousands of homes, a lot of insurance companies have added exclusions dealing with fire. And similar to what's happening in Florida, in Miami, they're excluding hurricanes. And so when you think about it, you live in a place where the most likely situation for you to lose your home is excluded. It's extremely problematic. And so it's going to be something that's going to be looked into. And the previous wildfires in California, they had the energy companies to fall back on because it was one of the transformers, I think, that caused the wildfire. Here, they're going to have to look and see what the cause of the fire is. And if
that matters?
Yes, because if it's a corporation, if it's a company, even though I'm not covered, you're going to have to cover me. But if it was a neighbor who was barbecuing, good luck if you have an exclusion. And so I'm not a California lawyer, but I'm just telling you what general insurance claims and look like in a situation when you're dealing with the law.
Is that normally like a class action when, let's say, it is a company that, an error where one single law firm will come in?
Not one single law firm.
Oh, is it a few law firms? Or?
Yeah, generally, because everybody gets to decide their own representation.
Very true.
So if, let's say, for example, you live there, Rook lived there, you guys could hire me and I could represent you. And it might be other people who have other lawyers. And what happens is those lawyers come together and a lot of cases form a mega law firm. And so right now, for example, on my mass tort cases, I work with anywhere between 20 to 30 of the best law firms in the country. And so, and I get the pleasure of leading those law firms. I have a leadership position in which I'm actually responsible for the work of several law firms and how we go about handling the defendants. And so it's a situation in which, depending on your policy, some people may have had policies that kept the exclusion in, they didn't amend it out, which I really doubt. And so California, and I don't know, California may have special insurance. So in Texas, if there's just kind of like FEMA, right, dealing with flood insurance, if you live in a place that doesn't necessarily cover water, your insurance policy doesn't cover that, there are other potential government policies that may protect you up to a certain limit. But here you're talking about, I think they said that area was in the top 5% of expensive communities as far as land is concerned.
Facts, yeah.
And so when you take a look at that, that's a problem. Matter of fact, I got to call my homegirl because I think she just bought a house there this month. So, it's scary. But besides property, man, you want to take a look to make sure that people got out of there safely.
Yes.
Last thing you want to hear about is someone's elderly grandmother or grandfather who was bedridden, dying in such a horrific way, or someone losing a kid. And so, or some teenager playing with the fire, filming and trying to do something social media wise that made a bad calculation and got trapped and died. And so we just want to make sure our prayers are with everyone and making sure that everyone got out safely. And once we get everyone out safely, now we can deal with the money issue and dealing with the property and those things that matter. And when I say money, that's because the only thing that you can get when you lose property is money to replace it.
Correct.
You can never replace your grandmother's dishes or furniture or pictures. Those things of sentimental value are lost, but they also have value.
Yeah, you can only indemnify and bring back property that could actually have value. Unfortunately, as you see, people losing mother's ashes and things of that nature. You cannot replace those things. With that being said, to see Sunset Boulevard, ablaze is just a crazy sight. And our prayers go out to everyone dealing with the fires out in the West Coast.
Shout out RealLyfe Street Starz, nigga. Move it. Hey.